Reflection of Ethics in Information Technology by Marilyn M.M. DeLong. Reflecting on the past 8 weeks. In CIS.150, Ethics in Information Technology, we discussed and were introduced to more ethical dilemmas that were more targeted to the tech industry than just any industry. With the dilemmas we faced, they were very realistic for us to face when going into the tech industry. In this presentation, I want to break down the last 8 weeks of class to see what ethical dilemmas we faced and my thinking process through each. Week 9 Issues with NDAs. In Week 9, we reflected on the issues that could arise with companies and non-disclosure agreements with protecting intellectual property. The main issues I was able to find that when it comes to this is that employees can be taken advantage of with very impactful NDAs and basically have their personal intellectual property stolen by the company because in the NDA, it will state anything created while working for the company is owned by the company. Another issue I discovered is that they could prevent you from finding new work because their rules will be in the NDAs about working for another company. Whether they were fired or let go, the NDA can still be active and can make it unfair to the employee. With NDAs, you need to be careful about what it all entails and how this can affect you in the future because depending on the company, they can make it very harsh or unethical NDAs that will hold up and you need to be informed. Week 10 Safety Critical Software. In Week 10, we dealt with what would you do scenario where our boss wanted us to consider safety critical software as not safety critical because of the pushback deadlines. With doing what our manager wants, if there is failure, it could cause a massive explosion, which is dangerous. This what would you do scenario really tested our morals and ethics because we know what the manager wants to do is wrong. I found that safety is the most important thing above all else, so when dealing with this scenario, I told my manager I would not do this and go to the higher ups to talk about what the manager wants in worst case scenario except being fired or quitting for not following the orders. I do not want to be responsible for hurting others when it can be prevented by taking our time with safety critical software. And if I was fired or quit because of this, I would also try to reach the media to expose the situation so people are aware and won't get hurt. Week 11, Ethics on Telemedicine. In Week 11, we discussed telemedicine. Since COVID-19, telemedicine has been on the rise. My opinion on telemedicine is that it's good, but it should not be the only medicine. For small things such as therapy, checkups, renewing subscriptions, those can be very beneficial with telemedicine. But for serious illnesses or injuries, it is still best to go to the hospital. Accessibility, especially in medicine, is always positive because access to healthcare I find to be a morally innate right, so I find myself to be pro-telemedicine. Week 12, Social Media and Job Candidacy. In Week 12, we discussed employers using social media as a factor whether or not someone should be hired. Later in the weeks to come, we discuss more about social media and jobs, and my overall opinion is that they should not mix. I personally don't find it ethical or right to combine personal social medias and jobs, and it's crossing a barrier. If a company was to use social media to hire someone, I feel it should only play a factor if they know the person posts hateful content such as sexism, homophobia, racism, etc., or crimes such as stealing. If someone is on social media, you understand that people are quick to decide someone's character based on a single post no matter how old it was, and because of social media causes such quick judgment, I don't find it ethical to base someone's job candidacy on it except for the very situational reasons. Week 13, Outsourcing. Week 13, we discussed outsourcing what would you do scenario, but in this case, it dealt with a friend's department got outsourced and our friend is the only one that stayed. She has to fire her department and is worried that once the transition over, she will be let go as well. When dealing with this dilemma, I felt sad because there is not a positive to this scenario. It's something that is far too common because of corporate greed. It made me really think and reflect on what I think is the best to do to help my friend, and with that, I chose honesty. I expressed that she needs to be prepared for coworkers to be upset when she fires them. Though it's not her choice, she is the face who is telling them, and she has to accept that. I also worry that she will most likely be fired as well, so she should look for a new job as soon as possible. And even if she isn't, this company obviously doesn't care about their employees, so a new job is better regardless. Week 14, Copyright and Innovation. In Week 14, we were asked to discuss about copyright and whether it has halted or accelerated innovation. This was something I never thought about before, so it took me a while to think about my opinions on this. To me, I overall felt it doesn't affect innovation, but if I had to choose, it slightly accelerates it. This is because with there being limitations, people need to think outside the box and create better things because of copyright to make a better product. Week 15, Thoughts on Robotics. Week 15, we talked about robotics and what our outlook is on them. For me, I love robotics. I can't wait for the day they are advanced to almost human-like or possibly being considered a new form of human. I know my opinion on robotics is not the same as many people because they worry about job scarcity because people are already dealing this with robots. I understand this feeling and empathize with this, but for me, I view it as we can't stop innovation because it affects us. Innovation is going to happen regardless, no matter how hard we try to prevent it. And with robotics, we need to, instead of trying to stop it, start creating laws on how much a company can use them. I look forward to the advancement of robotics and can't wait to see how they progress in the coming years. Though not everyone is a fan, I sure am. Week 16, employee social media posting. Our last week of class, the ethical dilemma that stood out to me was the companies wanting employees to post on their personal social media accounts to boost the company. With this dilemma, my ethical belief is that if a company is overstepping their boundaries and combining work and personal life too much, I find that if a company wants to implement their needs to be strict guidelines and compensation to the employee, and better yet, the company, instead of having people post on their social media, they should have workers make content to post on the official company's social media, and if chosen, get compensation that way. Final thoughts. In this course, I have learned a lot in what was faced with many ethical dilemmas I didn't realize we could face. With this class, I was tackling these situations every week, and I feel more prepared to face any ethical and technical scenario I could see in my line of work and in life. It is important that we stay aware and educate ourselves on situations we could find ourselves in the workplace so we understand what is best route to handle them in case we ever find ourselves facing them. Thank you for viewing my presentation. I hope with this reflection essay, it has helped you understand ethics in the tech industry. With this semester coming to close, I want to say thank you for as well as broaden my understanding in ethics. With that, I bid farewell and happy holidays.